So my strategy was essentially to just put in as much work as I can on the case. And this started with figuring out who their expert was. They hired an accident reconstructionist slash biomechanic engineer, and this was a person who's had tons of depositions in the past. So I went back through the archives, read up on pretty much all of his depositions, figured out what his conclusions were in cases that were similar to ours. And I had in mind, once it was time for cross-examination, I was going to pick him apart. And that's what I did. And then in addition to that, I was figuring out what were the questions I was going to ask the potential jurors in voir dire that would carry throughout the trial. And I thought I did a good job at that. Also, just reading through the depositions of this specific case, so my client's deposition, reading through the defendant's deposition, all of those things were part of the preparation process so that once I got to trial, I was as ready as I could be. The goal is not to go to trial generally. The goal is to get your client the best results possible. In this specific case, that result was only going to come through a trial. And we sent down a 998 earlier on in the case. They did not accept it, and it was a very reasonable 998 number. So we got to trial, and the goal essentially was to get a verdict that was above that 998. And we were able to accomplish that and more. And so it was a very successful trial. My advice for young attorneys preparing for trial is, first, it's going to be nerve-wracking. It's going to be an anxiety-filled experience, but that's normal. If you don't have those emotions, then something's wrong. So you just have to be able to work through those emotions, and then just be as prepared as possible. Don't try to skip any steps. The minute you want to cut a corner is going to be the minute you end up failing, essentially. So just put in the work put in all the work, and don't skip any steps. Try to work through the emotions that you will inevitably have.